Okay, I think we're good. Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome back to another playthrough of Nier Replicant. So I've kind of explained on my Instagram for my channel, all that stuff, that we are coming up on ending C, where you have to get all weapons in the game in order to get that ending. That is the ending I was never successful in getting when I played Nier Gestalt for the first time. That's because, frankly, I was just bad at the game. I'm not that bad at it now, so it was much more doable. Have all weapons now. Do not have all weapon upgrades, unfortunately, though, but I do have all weapons. So because of that, and I have gotten all the fragments, we are now able to go to the Shadowless Castle, go to the Lost Shrine, and deal with that whole section again. And see if we can figure out what this ending is about. Oh my gosh. Because supposedly you're supposed to get an additional boss fight after you defeat the Shadow Lord. I want to say it might be Kaine's shade, like Tyrant takes control or something. That's my guess, but I'm not sure. I feel like I may have seen this ending when my brothers were playing Nier Gestalt years ago when I was younger, but I have no idea. So we're going to work towards that, and while I'm running, doing that, let me see, where would I find? Right here. While we're doing that, I will be discussing the red and black novella I mentioned briefly at the ending at the end of part 23.
I worked it out.
I don't need worms.
Come again.
So, gonna talk about that a little bit. Before we head towards the Lost Shrine, I want to go to Junk Keep, see if there's any upgrades we can do. I don't think there are. You know what? I didn't have to do that. I could have just saved at the thingamabobby here. I won't go to the Junk Keep, see if we're doing an upgrade. So here's the game plan for today. Get ending C. After achieving ending C, take a pause, go back, go through, start potentially getting ending D, where this is the one that kind of complicates things. Ending D erases all save data you have in all three of your game slots or save slots. So everything I have done will be erased after completing ending D. And I was hoping that I could read the weapon stories in like just one big video for you all, but that would be rather difficult to do because all the save data would be erased. So I can't exactly do that if I was to go through ending D. So what's probably going to happen is after ending C, I'll take a pause and I'll just read through and narrate through all of the weapon stories. And then we're going to ending D. So the plan is ending C, weapon stories, ending D, and that's probably where we're going to stop it. Because after that is ending E, and that one involves having to start the game from the absolute beginning. and you have to change the name of your character. And if you do that, you might get you'll get some information about Nier Automata, or like information that links to Nier Automata, whatever. So that should be interesting. They didn't have ending E in Nier Gestalt, so this is a new ending they added upon
What can I help you?
revamping the game. All right. Oh yeah. Yay. Goodness gracious, Lord have mercy. So yeah. Gonna work towards ending C, D, and then I'll probably do a lot of ending E off screen, maybe? I don't know.
Come back.
So the reason I laughed when I did the weapon upgrade is because it needed pirate. That's one of the raw materials that weapon upgrade needed specifically. And a couple days ago, I was running back and forth through Barren Temple trying to get pirate, because I read online that the best place to farm pirate is at the Barren Temple, and there's like 3 spawn points or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool, fine. So I was doing that for like an hour, like Thursday or something, and I kid you not, in that hour and a half, I collected 1 pirate. I need 14 total for all weapon upgrades. I collected 1 pirate. I was so annoyed, and apparently I kept reading online, just like, oh no, Barren Temple's the best place to do it. I looked at this video of this dude doing it, trying to get pirate in the Barren Temple. Dude collected 2 things of pirate and like run. I do not know. It's so frustrating. It kind of goes back to what I was talking about, I think in part 23, where I was ranting about the weapon upgrade aspect to this game. Which again, isn't a necessary thing to do. You don't have to upgrade your weapons. But I'm one who wants to know more about this story and about this world, because it seems like a lot of thought and care was put into it. And the weapons, I believe, will add to that. So I want to get all the weapon upgrades so I can read all the weapon stories. But I can't, because it's so frustrating to get all the stuff for the weapon upgrades. It is, oh my gosh. It is the worst. It is the absolute worst. But as stated, I ranted about that in part 23. So if you want to hear all my thoughts on that, you can just listen to part 23. So I don't think we need anything. We have a lot of healing items. Nice. We have some spirit capsules. I think we're good to just head on over. I don't have any side quests going. I will say I did basically all of Ending C off screen. In the main... Oh, I need to go out to the library. The main difference is that every now and then you had some scenes with Devila and Popola where it's them talking about their plans to get Yonah, to get Nier and his body and like the vessel of him, and give him to the Shadow Lord and all that stuff. It's revealed that they knew about the girl who shipwrecks onto the beach in Seafront. What else did they know? It reveals that yes, they did plan for Nier to go on this crazy adventure to see if he can find Yonah. It seems like the whole idea was to get him to the Shadow Lord. But it's like they said in endings, I think A and B, where just like, we didn't expect you to get this powerful. So the whole plan was to get Nier, the Replicant, to the Shadow Lord so that Shadow Lord can take his Replicant back, basically, or to take his body back. But Replicant Nier got too strong, and I guess they actually feared, oh shoot, he may actually defeat the Shadow Lord. We need to keep him away from the Shadow Lord now. They can't meet. So yep, revealed that was the plan, which we knew. And a couple other small tidbits, like nothing too crazy, just a bit interesting. So yeah.
You're really gonna do it? The whole village is buzzing, you know. I guess it's really happening, huh?
I'll bring her back. I promise.
About that.
Yeah?
Nothing. Never mind. Popola just loves to worry. Anyway, you be careful. Yes. Do be careful.
Thanks.
Oh no. I have a feeling they're gonna have a little cutscene with them again. Do a save. I should probably pull up the walkthrough I've been following on how to do these endings. The endings aren't particularly hard to get. They just take a while. And some of them you do have to do some specific things in order to get them. So I want to make sure I'm doing all the right things. Otherwise, we might just be wasting all the time. So let me double check. I should have all weapons. Yes, 100% weapon collection. So we have all weapons. That was the only criteria they said that I needed to get ending C. So we should be set. So we go through all this. We lose a meal. Darkness, black without end. It goes on and on and on. Eyes closed, eyes open. It matters not. The dark is joined by a mysterious sensation, one created by the mingling of blissful sleep with the unease of a terrible, never-ending cold. Is this a dream? Thinking to pinch his cheek, he reaches for his face. But his hand does not move. In fact, his hand has disappeared altogether. He looks at his arms and sees only bone. He looks at his feet and sees they have disappeared, along with the rest of his legs up to the thigh. What body remains begins to leave him, then crumbling into fragments smaller than dust. His body is going. Soon it will be no more. Is this death? Suddenly he recalls his past. He remembers the time he lived with his sister, and the very act of recollection is like a shooting star. Despite lasting only a moment, it brings color to the darkness. Soon more memories come, gathering atop each other, one after the next, until they meld into a warm and glorious light. Emil's dream. Promise. Wake up! Wake up! A set of covers are torn from the body, leaving his eyelids exposed to the merciless sun. Hey there, lazy bones, says the voice again. The boy's vision, blurry at first, gradually grows more clear. Before him, her sister aglow with a radiant smile, is his older twin sister, Halua. Morning, Halua. Don't look so cheery, you butt. The teacher's going to be here any minute. Halua grabs her brother, pulls him beneath the bed with her, where they wait with a host of dust bunnies for the instructor's arrival. The moment Emil starts to ask a question, Halua shushes him, placing a finger over his mouth. Don't start. We agreed to this yesterday, remember? We're going to jump out and give teacher to scare her life. After a few ticks of the clock, the door opens and a slight woman enters the room. Good morning, Halua. Good morning, Emil. Are you ready for... Emil glances at his sister and sees her trying to stifle a laugh, which has the unfortunate effect of making a laugh rise in him. Then the dust bunnies decide to get in on the act, swirling up into their noses and causing the tricksters to sneeze in unison. Suddenly, the face of their teacher appears in the space between the bed and the floor. There you are, you scamps. This is your fault, says Halua. You ruined it by sneezing. Me? Cries a clearly wounded Emil. You sneezed just as loud. That's enough, both of you, says the teacher as she attempts to hide her amusement. Crawl out from under there and let me take your temperatures already. The pair happily shimmies out from their hiding space or place and stands before their teacher. She is a fair woman with a kind voice, one Emil would be happy to listen to for the rest of his life. In fact, he often thought that her waking him in the morning was his favorite part of the day. The teacher finds her seat, hunkers down, and lightly pats her leg, to which a happy Emil leaps into her lap. She then slides a chilly thermometer on his armpit, causing a shudder to race through his body. I'm sorry, just be a brave boy for a little longer, alright? Emil used to hate having his temperature taken daily. The thermometer was just so darn cold, but he's becoming used to it after being at the facility for the past 2 years. His mother and father had perished in an accident many years before. He'd been told the facility they sent him to was simply a home for orphans such as himself, but he'd always had his doubts. After all, most orphanages weren't staffed by doctors in white coats who held lessons involving the repeated asking of strange questions, nor did they attach wires to the bodies of their charges and force them to enter enormous boxes. The process is endless, the tests unceasing. And yet, Emil feels his teacher somehow floats above it all. She would talk to him about everyday problems, read him books, and even share a meal when time permitted. She is the closest thing he has to a mother. With both of their temperatures taken, Emil and Halua wait for breakfast. But something is different this day. Their teacher is strange somehow. Off. Emil, she says quietly, do you remember what day this is? Emil looks over to his sister and sees her staring at him with an enormous grin. Nuh-uh, she says. You gotta figure it out yourself. But despite his best efforts, Emil comes up empty. I'm sorry, ma'am, he says at last. I just don't know. With a smile, the teacher reaches into the pocket of her white coat and withdraws a small package. It is a bag neatly closed with string and tied at the top with a bright red ribbon. Happy birthday, Emil, she says. In fact, happy birthday to the both of you. Oh, thank you, cries Emil. Can I open it? Of course, replies his teacher. I'm afraid it's nothing so special, but I do hope you enjoy it regardless. Emil carefully unties the ribbon and opens the bag to reveal a small pile of cookies. They are the same snacks they always received at the facility, but the fact they come from his teacher makes them somehow special. As a gas escapes his mouth, his sister can't help giggling beside him, her eyes fixated on the bright red ribbon all the while. Happy birthday, Halua, says Emil as he reaches into the bag, withdraws a cookie, and offers it to his sister. Needing no further encouragement, the girl crams the cookie into her mouth and swallows it in 2 bites. Happy birthday to you too, Emil! Then, as though remembering something, she leaps up and runs to the small chest of drawers the two of them share. After forcing open a stubborn drawer, she pulls out a single sheet of paper hidden under a white coat and runs it back to her brother. "Here's your present," she says, thrusting the paper at him with a slightly embarrassed look. When he glances down, he sees the words "Happy Birthday, Emil" scrawled in a shaky child's hand, along with a picture of a generously colored person who had clearly been created from every crayon in the box. That was me. Unable to stop himself, Emil wraps his sister in a massive hug. "Thank you," he whispers as she returns the embrace just as tightly. "I'll make sure to draw you on your next birthday, okay?" My sister was there. My teacher was there. It was my birthday. I thought it could never be happier. I'm glad Holua's drawing is the last thing I'll remember. I sense a deep and perfect darkness descending over my eyes and realize my time has come. I'm so terribly cold. As I try desperately to remember what it felt like to be embraced, I wonder if this horrible face is all that's left of me. "Holua, I'm sorry. I couldn't keep my promise. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I'm coming to join you now. Just hold on."
Wake up. Wake up. Please, wake up. Come on, Emil. Wake up already.
"Holua? Is that you?"
You haven't changed a bit, have you, lazy bones?
"Holua, have you come for me? Am I dead?"
No, Emil. You're not dead. I'm just here to keep my promise.
In that moment, the world of darkness surrounding me explodes with color. Red, yellow, blue, and so many others. Colors I have no names for. Colors I've never even seen. It's like someone's using every crayon in the box.
I told you I'd always be watching over you, didn't I?
Holua, I don't...
Don't worry about it, you butt. Looking after little brothers is just what big sisters do.
Her voice, it's fading.
Sorry, Emil. Looks like I'm out of magic.
Holua, wait. Let me come with you.
But you are with me. I'll always watch over you. So we'll always be together.
Holua, no. Don't go.
Don't cry, Emil. I want you to be happy.
Holua.
Promise me that you'll live for both of us.
The darkness enveloping me flows away, replaced by a brilliant blue sky. Or enveloping me. Is that how you say that word? Bro, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know where I am or what I'm supposed to do, but it's okay that I'm here. I know that much. Or I know that much now. She's giving me the courage to accept that. No more crying. I'll live with a smile on my face. Because that's the promise I made her.
Well, ain't that precious?
I'm happy for him.
You know, Sunshine, that black scrawl has almost completely taken you over.
Yeah, I know.
But goddamn, we had fun, huh? Killing and killing and more killing. What a rush.
Yeah.
Wait. No. No. It wasn't fun at all. I turned you into a killing machine. I spread evil and chaos around the world. But it all feels so empty now. Why? I don't understand.
Sorry. Looks like you stayed inside me for a little too long. Sunshine.
Stop! Don't be nice to me! Don't make me feel like this! I'm gonna swallow you up, Sunshine. Gonna swallow you whole.
Okay.
Kaine? What is it?
Listen to me. The shade inside me is growing, and I can't stop it. Soon, real soon, I'm gonna go berserk.
I can't hold it back anymore.
Kaine, you have to fight. You have to...
Just shut up and listen to me. Emil is gone, all right? So there's no way anyone can stop me. Please. Before it comes to that, I want you to kill me. Consider it a final request.
Okay.
Well, hell, Sunshine. It's not like I can stop it. When Gestalts go out of control, they lose their minds. Both of our memories will be completely overridden.
Kaine!
I can't run. Girl, if I could, I would, but...
Damn it.
Oh my.
Do something.
Yeah, a little bit. And I don't have the magics. Woo. Okay. I think I need to destroy these. No? No? I can't break through. Do I need to use a particular weapon, maybe? Cause nothing's
We
working.
made this far because you were with us, Kaine. I'm who I am today because of you.
Let me
I'm
just...
not going to give up on you. I'm not going
Look.
to abandon someone I love. I'm going to save you. I swear.
I'm about to die.
It.
There you go. So you just had to wait it out.
Well, there might be one way to save her.
Who said that?
It don't matter, so don't ask. Just shut up and listen.
Wait, are you?
I said, listen! There's a way to save Kaine's life, all right? But you're gonna have to make a difficult decision.
I'll do whatever it takes.
When the time comes, I'm going to pin Kaine down. And as soon as I do, you need to stab her in the heart.
No, I can't.
Fine. Don't believe me. Stand around with your thumb up your ass and watch her die a terrible death.
Damn it.
She's quite strong. She was on our team for a reason.
Very nice. Now, if you want to save your precious Kaine, there are 2 ways to do it. One is to plunge your sword into her chest. That's what she wants after all. Freedom from burdens, freedom from life.
What's the other way?
The other way is to make her a normal human being again. But to make that happen, you gotta trade your own existence for hers. Well, there you go. Good luck with that.
You're that shade. The one who lives inside Kaine. Why are you trying to help her?
Probably for the same reason you are. Enough talk. Make your choice.
Okay, so it says after the final boss fight, you face another finaler boss fight. Oh, I'm so sorry. We get an option to either kill them or not. So you have the option of end Kaine's life and free her from her burden, or sacrifice your own existence to make Kaine human again. This thing is saying to kill them for ending C. So, end Kaine's life.
Kaine. Let's go home.
Can you hear me? I spent years inside Kaine's body, tormenting her from within. I felt her pain, her emotions, as if they were my own. And there was so much pain. So when I say she's free now, I want you to believe me. Thanks to you, Kaine has been forgiven and saved. Oh, wait. She had a final message for you. Thank you.
Kaine. We'll always be together.
I think we are now going to read the weapon stories. Say junkie.
Opala said perhaps we can find...
I will deal with that off screen because again, it's literally just repeated stuff I've already shown in previous playthroughs. So if you're curious, I think I did a junk heap of this part of the game. I don't remember. It's in one of the playthroughs. Okay, let's get into weapon stories. Yep, so I'll just be reading all the level 4 ones, basically. Okay. Nameless Blade. Smash, 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 smash. Sweat rolls down the faces of hard-scrabbled men as they chip away at iron stone, their cheerful singing echoing through the mine. We are workers in the mine, dirty from tip to toe. Again, today we search for iron with all our might. Smash, smash, smash. Foom, foom, foom. The sound of women stomping on bellows in the mill. the sound of iron being gathered from the scorched sands. We're workers in the mill, workers who send wind. Today we stomp the bellows again with all our might. Foom, foom, foom. Clang, clang, clang. The sound of swordsmiths wielding hammers at their forges. The ringing of such transformative blows is stunning indeed. We are swordsmiths who bring blades to life. Lords of steel. Clang, clang, clang. Rip, rip, rip. The sound of flesh being rent on the battlefield. The sound of killing enemies. Killing someone. Killing humans. Someone help me. It hurts. It hurts so much. Help me, mommy. Rip, rip, rip. Rough story. Moonrise. There was a legend of long ago that speaks of a nation threatened by a great inferno. This nation, however, was saved from eternal hellfire by a sword with the power to freeze anything. Around this sword stood thousands upon thousands of human ice sculptures. A man on a journey to seek out weapons eventually discovered the sword. He wrapped it in several layers of cloth and took it with him, placing it in the bag he carried upon his back. But before the man realized what was happening, the cloth, the sword, and his own body ended up frozen solid. A traveling shrine maiden eventually discovered the sword. She offered a prayer to her god and gripped the hilt, but cold instantly shot through her fingers and into her body, freezing her solid. In her final moments, the shrine maiden unleashed words of great blasphemy to the god who had failed her. An enslaved woman in a mine eventually discovered the sword. Desiring easy death over the continuation of her daily suffering, she grasped the weapon firmly. And while the woman did not freeze, she was also unable to pierce her own flesh. Soon moonlight shone upon the blade of the weapon, reflecting the sight of the woman being beaten and dragged away by her master. Rebirth. That's right. This here's a weapon that will be ending your life. Don't sweat it. There's nothing to worry about. It'll be a pain the likes of which you've never felt before. In fact, you won't even feel pain at first. It'll be more like water sliding across your skin. Honestly, for most folks, it ain't the pain that makes them scream. It's the sight of their own blood flowing out of them. Yeah, it won't end so easy. See this part of the blade right here? This part hurts like a real son of a bitch. It's my favorite, which is why I always save it for the last. I like to use it after people's voices get too hoarse. You can't tell what they're saying, which is a real freaking heck. Are you ever loud? Mind piping down there? You're gonna make my hand slip. I won't kill you right away, so don't worry about a thing there, champ. I'm gonna take my sweet time before I finally give up the ghost. Honestly, you'd be surprised how much it takes to kill a person. I mean, think about it. People got 2 eyes, most of them anyway, and 2 ears, 10 fingers, 10 toes, 20 nails across the lot. And don't even get me started on joints, cause folks got hundreds of the damn things. Yeah, we got plenty of ways to keep ourselves entertained. Huh? Why am I doing this? Now ain't that a question? Buddy, I'm just doing what you've been doing for a good long while now. Nabbing innocent citizens on fake charges, torturing them, and putting their severed heads on display. That ring any bells, buddy? It should, cause it was all you. Guess I forgot about all that, eh? Well, that's okay. I'll spend all the time it takes to make sure I remember every last thing it did to my wife and daughter. So, it reminds me of Tyron. It reminds me of a shade. So, could it be whoever made this weapon had a shade in them? That rings any bell, buddy. I'll spend all the time it takes to make sure you remember every last thing you did to my wife and daughter. Why am I doing this? So maybe like some bastard did something to someone else's wife and daughter. It was a gestalt. So therefore he possessed someone else and is now tormenting him. So I think mostly what we're reading is the dialogue of a shade. That's my guess. Earthworm's Claw. An elderly scholar sits in the dim reference room of a moldy museum. Before him lies a single box which has long been sealed away. It is an article the museum's previous curator made abundantly clear should never be opened. It is said the box contains a fossil that drinks the blood of humans. What foolishness. One would think we as a people would have outgrown such nonsense. Only someone who spends all their life surrounded by books could possibly believe such preposterous superstition. He opens the book, which spits forth a cloud of dust, and beholds a single stone of bizarre shape. Looking at the attached handle, one could easily conclude it was used in some manner of ceremony. However, it could also be viewed as a weapon. And what a fascinating shape. Yes, this will require rigorous research indeed. How foolish everyone was to be afraid of something like this. The scholar chuckles softly to himself as he reaches up and gouges out his left eye with the fossil's tip. Is a fossil that drinks the blood of humans. I'm not sure what to make of that one. Blade of Treachery. The sisters were puppets of complex machinery. So fine was their construction that any who laid eyes upon them assumed they were human in every way. They were the embodiment of man's greatest technological achievements. They walked like humans, ate like humans, laughed like humans. The only thing they could not do, however, was shed tears, for they were not designed in that way. Because the sisters were machines, they felt nothing. Oh, they might mourn as humans did, but they experienced no true sadness, for they did not know what sadness was. Even when their friends perished in tragic accidents and their creator died of disease, they felt nothing. To the sisters, all it meant was that those people no longer existed. It was a warm spring's day when a lone cat wandered into their home. It was a scrawny, filthy thing riddled with disease. What a bother, the sisters thought as they looked down at the wretched creature. But they fed it milk, wiped it clean, and kept it warm, and soon the cat was well again. From that day forth, it would linger wherever the sisters were, brushing aside against their legs when it wanted food. If it caught a mouse, it would bring it back to boast its prowess. If it wanted love, it would cry out to them in a mirroring voice. What a bother, the sisters thought. It was a cold winter's day when the cat came into the house, let out a feeble squeak, and died. Time and again, the younger sisters shake the cat's body. Time and again, the elder sister call out to it, but the cat neither moved nor responded. In that moment, the sisters felt as though they felt something break deep inside their chests. And from that day forth, they truly felt nothing at all. I'm guessing this is about Devla and Popola. It's a story of their past. I feel like it has to be Devla and Popola because it doesn't make any sense. It would be about literally anyone else. One thing about the Red and Black novella was that there was a part, again, remember how Nier came to realization after looking into Popola's eyes that Popola knew that he was selling himself. He was prostituting himself to the guy in Seafront. And he described her eyes as having a black darkness to them. And it makes me wonder if they're androids, and as this story describes, they truly don't feel anything. I was wondering if him looking into her eyes and seeing just darkness, how am I supposed to interpret it? I was able to think of two ways I interpret it as. I thought of one way, which is, oh, she feels, well, actually 3 ways, I guess. One way is, oh, she feels nothing because she's a robot, and what he was seeing was the lack of any true sympathy or feeling towards him and what he was experiencing because she's an android. Another way to see it is that the blackness, the darkness, was her feeling, in spite of being an android, her feeling anger, hatred, or disappointment towards the man in Seafront. And then another way, which I kind of doubt is the actual way, but another way to see it is that the darkness is actually directed towards Nier, because one thing Nier was concerned about, understandably so, like anyone would be experiencing SA or whatever, is that Popola and Devila, or if anyone found out what he was having to do, is that they would view him as filthy, as dirty, and that they wouldn't care about him anymore. And so he came to the idea of, oh, after realizing Popola knew what he was doing, what was going on, he was like, oh, no, she gave me this job because she cares. She wouldn't view me as filthy. They would never think like that. And he said, thank you. But he noticed that the darkness in her eyes didn't disappear. So, like, I'm thinking, okay, so could it be that maybe she does view him as, like, this filthy creature? Because if you think about it with some of these gestalts, they're just like, oh, you guys not even human. Y'all just monsters. You're just shells. So it makes me wonder if Popola at that moment saw Nier and thought, you really are just a filthy shell. I kind of doubt that, considering some of the cutscenes we've seen of Devila and Popola, where they're just like what we just saw, where she's like, I think it was Devila who said, I just been thinking about all the time we've been spending with him. And Popola also had those thoughts by the looks of it. So I think her viewing him as just some filthy shell doesn't align with their character that the game presents mostly, but I would say isn't entirely impossible. But I feel like the darkness in her eyes is most likely either her seeing the filthy side of these vessels and attributing that to the seafront guy, not to Nier, or it's revealing she doesn't feel anything, she's a robot. She actually doesn't give two craps about this kid. Or more like she can't care because she's a robot. I feel like those two interpretations are more likely than her looking at Nier and thinking you really are just a filthy vessel, because that's diabolical and again doesn't match with some of the other things we hear in the game. Let's see. Faith. There was once a famous poet in a land to the far, far east. Now in his twilight years, his ability had withered such that he could no longer craft a single stanza, a verse. The poor poet spent every moment racked with sorrow for what had been lost. But one day, a monk appeared by his side, gently placing a blade in his hand and imparting the following words. Kill one by this blade for one poem, and two for two in kind. the likes of which would be more splendid than any of this world has ever heard. Clinging to the monk's words, the man waited for the cover of darkness and cut down a man he encountered by the roadside. Following the day, he wrote a most beautiful poem, instantly reclaiming the fame and prosperity he had lost. The poet went on to kill 2 in succession. He killed one and wrote a poem, then killed again and wrote another, rising to almost dazzling levels of wealth and renown. But soon, he became obsessed with knowing how splendid a poem he might write if he were to kill someone precious to him. He killed his wife and wrote a poem. He killed his children and wrote a poem for each. He moved through his estate, killing everyone there, writing and writing and writing and writing. Eventually, he killed so many passerby that the poems could not keep up. He would kill and write, then kill and kill and kill and kill, until in the end, he took his own life, no longer crafting poems at all. All that remained was a blade wet with blood. Interesting how it's called faith. These weapon stories interest me because some of them I don't know what to make of. Ancient Overlord. There was once a royal sword passed down in a prodigious kingdom that had prospered for generations. It is said the crystal embedded upon it contained a great magic, and should ever absorb the blood of 10,000 people, it would glow bright red and grant its wielder immortality. However, this king's final ruler, known to the world as the High King, valued the continued prosperity of the kingdom he had inherited from his ancestors over any prospect of eternal life. One day, the queen, the king's dearest love, lost her life in a tragic accident. She was with child, and a tragedy occurred shortly before the babe was to be born. Distraught with grief upon hearing the news, the aged king found himself unable to accept the prospect of his royal bloodline dying with him. In an attempt to continue the kingdom's legacy by attaining a body without death, the now mad High King used a sword to cut down any and all subordinates or citizens unlucky enough to cross his path. "If I am to be the final king," he was heard to cry, "then the kingdom survives so long as I live." He killed his subjects by the dozens, the hundreds, thousands. And with each life he stole, the crystal's light grew more radiant. But when the crystal was nearly full, the king's ailing heart proved unable to bear the burden and burst, killing him on the spot. Alas, had he just slain the pregnant woman and unborn child that were before his very eyes, he would have taken exactly 10,000 lives. Ancient Overlord. Labyrinth's Whisper. So this girl had a huge set of horns on her. Beautiful horns, like a bull just growing out her head or above her ears. I had myself a gander at where the horns met the head, and let me tell you, they were coming straight out of her skull. She was the only kid like that in the whole village. The others were all normal. The kid with the horns, though, born real small, apparently. Or the horns were, not the kid. And hell, they wouldn't need to be. Fat chance the kid's mama would have been able to push out a pair of horn shoes as that. You'd think a girl like that would have been bullied, right? Well, you'd be wrong. That kid was the hardest person for miles in any direction. Wasn't a man in the village who tangled with her. And we're talking men what ain't scared of nothing. He was the best at doing work what needed physical strength and all that. And she always led the charge whenever shades attacked. And folks loved her for that, sure, but most of all, they loved her because she was always cheerful and just plain tough. But one day, this huge shade attacked the village that was just too strong. It tore the men apart like old rags, and half the guys in the village died. The girl with the horns fought with all she had, but eventually she couldn't keep up. And the shade lifted her off the ground and ripped the horns right out of her head. The wasted screams like nothing you've ever heard. Sound shook the earth itself, it did. After that, things got real quiet. So I stepped outside and found both the Shade and the girl dead. Each of them had wounds all over. They were leaking blood out just about everywhere. And don't judge me for saying this now, but it was almost beautiful. Like looking at dark red flowers in full bloom, you know? Hope that answered your first question about why folks in this village can't hear nothing. But you should know, none of us think badly of the girl for making us this way. Being deaf is a hell of a sight better than being dead. Anyway, we all talked over that day to death, and we think that final scream was her way of saying goodbye. Everyone in the village is honored that the last thing we ever heard was her farewell. And that's the God's honest truth. These stories are so weird. Iron Pipe, May 21st. We finally run out of money. Food just costs a lot more nowadays because of the war. We tried begging at the church, but they have their hands full caring for the wounded and can't spare anything. Yonah's really lost a lot of weight. I wish I could get her something to eat. July 15th. We met a nice lady who gave us some food. At first I thought she was homeless like us, but she said she was joining some kind of relief and support thing by the government, so we decided to go with her. At least Yonah seems to be doing okay today. August 1st. That nice lady from before used a book and turned into a monster. We ran away as fast as we could because I don't think she's human anymore. Everything those adults told us was a lie. They won't give us money, and they won't treat Yonah's illness. Also, there's a huge wall around the city now. We can't get out. We never should have come here. August 5th. It's so cold today. I can't believe it's summer. I can actually see my breath. We decided to hide from the monsters in an abandoned supermarket. We found a few old cans of food there, but now those are gone. Also, Yonah's cough just won't quit. I've got a really bad feeling about this. So a war broke out. So this is obviously Nier talking. A war broke out, and that's what kind of added to the wiping out of humanity. I think it is mentioned in one of the, in something where it said, a war had broken out, but people paused the fighting because the Black Scrawl started to show up. How many of these I got? I got that one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got a couple more of these I gotta get through. I think that's actually where we're gonna stop, because I need to start getting ready for my movie. I need to wash the face and all that stuff. So that was ending C. So we now have endings A through C. I kind of messed up. I could have gotten ending D more immediately, but this actually gives me the chance to see if I can upgrade a bit more of my items. So I'm not too mad at having to do this again. I'm going to try and see if I can upgrade all the weapons before I get to the ending E, because again, once we start getting to ending E, our previous save files would be erased, so I have to start all the way back from the beginning when Nier was 16. So I'll do what I can, but it is tricky trying to get all these weapon upgrades. Cause the reason I want to do it is because, again, I do want to read the weapon stories for you guys. They do seem very interesting, but it's hard. It's gonna take some time. So yeah, that is ending C. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm probably going to do a lot of the setup for ending D off screen. And so you probably won't see me do a playthrough of this for a little while. But yeah, if you are, for whatever reason, curious about the Red and Black novella I talked about, again, you can find it online just by searching like Nier Red and Black online. You can read it there. I kind of basically told you the entire story though, so I kind of feel like you don't have much of a reason to read it now. But if you want to look at it, it's there. Yeah, it does add to the story. It definitely adds to his character, and it's definitely in keeping with the character you see in this one. So next time we'll be getting ending D, and then we'll be on the way to ending E after ending D. So good things. We're almost done with the game. Ending E will be the very last ending, and then we get to go on to the next thing. So honestly, I feel like we might, I don't know, it depends on how long this takes. I might wait till the new year to start another set of games, but we'll see what happens. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for the viewership, and I will catch you on the next playthrough. Bye bye.